Hey drummers, welcome to this free video song lesson. This song has been requested many times, so today I'm really excited to be able to teach you how to play the song Take It to the Limit by the Eagles, drummed of course by the great Don Henley. Let's check out some ideas of what's coming up later in the lesson. So let's start with the time signature. The one I've chosen to write this in is 6/4. You could have written it in 12/8 or in 4/4 but in triplets, but 6/4 seems to be the nicest way to write this out and to be able to feel it. We're thinking in groups of 6 per bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On top of that, I've written on the top of the chart, all 8th notes are swung. So whenever we hear any of the ands, we're going to swing it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. So we're not playing straight 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and. We're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and. So you understand that there's a triplet lilt within each beat of the bar, all 6 of them. And by the way, I've written out the full chart for you to download from my website for free. Every single bar, every single drum fill, written out in full. You can find a link to this free PDF chart beneath this video. So you might want to have this printed out in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things hopefully a lot easier for you to understand. So our first drum beat, we're playing like a half-time feel where the snare drum is falling on beat 4 of each of the bars. So if we take a look at the second line, for example, that's the first bar of the second line, verse 1 on the chart. That's really our basic drum beat. Let's take a look at that drum beat first, just that bar there. We get 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 1. So you can hear those swung notes being played on the and of 3 and the and of 6 with those bass drum notes. If we go back to the first line now, and Don throws in some nice little triplet, some jazz ride cymbal pattern ideas within the song. So the first time he comes in, we get 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So we get this 2 and 3 and also 5 and 6. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5. And there's our first drum fill there in bar 2, where from beat 5 we're playing a graduation of volume on the snare drum. But I've written it, the sticking as right, left, left. Now, I want to get this out of the way early in the lesson. It's very tricky, some of these drum fills, to get round the drums just playing single strokes because your hands end up having to cross over each other. So what I've done for you, and I can't be 100% sure this is the way Don plays it, but I've used a combination of single strokes, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then when that doesn't work, I've used right, left, left. And I've used right, left, left quite a lot in this chart just to get round the toms, but also in some of these simpler drum fills as well. So if you've got like 3 sets of triplets, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, the other half of the bar uses a drum fill, then if you start the first set of 3 with right, left, left, then the other 2 can be played as single strokes, and it tends to go around the toms nicely that way. So you use whatever sticking you like, but just be aware that I'm using a suggested sticking for you. You can use it or you can ignore it, but I found that this, when I was transcribing it, was the easiest way to get around the drums. So for the first time, we didn't have to, but I've chosen to do it as right, left, left, right. It just means that those left-hand notes are played quietly, and we get this nice crescendo in volume. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. And we're playing the full set of triplets though. full set of triplets there. 5 triplets, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triplets, 6 and 1. Okay, so that's our first little drum fill there. We then go on to the next bar, which is the same as the first bar without the crash. And then the fourth bar on that line, we get another type of drum fill from beat 5, but instead of playing 5 triplets, 6, we play 5, 5 and 6. And that first snare drum note on the and of 5 is written in a bracket, which means it's played quietly. So we get this sort of da-da. So I've tried to include some of the nuances as well with Don's playing. He's very, very subtle the way he plays the drums. Really nice mix of dynamics. And there's our first example. So that last bar again, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1. So that first note on the and of 5 there was played as a tap. Then the second line, verse 1, 4 bars, all the same groove. I just showed you at the beginning of this lesson, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 and 1. That gets played for 4 bars. So before we go on, let me play now for you the intro, first 4 bars, and then the first 4 bars of verse 1, up to speed without the microphone so you can hear just the drums. Here we go. So then on to the second line of verse 1 and we get 2 more bars of that groove. But then the third bar we get this idea that occurs throughout the song where Don suddenly goes into like a normal time fill with the snare drum falling on beats 3 and beat 6. So not like a half time fill but like a normal fill. So we get this with the jazz ride pattern as well. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Dun. So look out for that change there. Then the fourth bar we get our first long drum fill. 1, 2 and 3 and that little tap there written as quietly, written as a ghost note as a tap, leading into beat 4. And this is another, well, our first proper example where the right, left, left really helps you to get around the drums nicely. He plays 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 and 1. So 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 and 1. 6 is not written as triplets, we're playing the 6 and the last note there is on the snare drum. So that fourth bar, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 and 1. And we're back into our simpler groove. Bar 2 has the dynamic da-da idea at the end of the second half. Then we go on to the next line and we get 2 more bars of standard groove. Bar 3 has the 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 1 idea again. And then a very similar idea to the end of verse 1 we get for bar 4, 1, 2 and 3 and a little tap before beat 4, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplets. So it's right, left, left, right, and then left, right, left, right, left. And I've written it as the high tom and the low tom. You could use the 2 toms next to each other or these 2 toms. It doesn't really matter, but the idea is we're going down the toms from the second triplet note of beat 5 into our first chorus. So that last bar, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, 1. Do that again. And I'll play this up to speed for you in a moment. So chorus 1, we get this idea occurring. with some variations as we see later. Our first example is on beat 6 of that first bar. He plays it with a crash, the snare drum. We get. But bar 2 is just all the same. Or I should say both halves are the same. And then very subtly, and I'm not sure if the bass drum's playing with the ride cymbal, we just simply get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into our next line. So let me now play for you the last line of verse 1 so we can catch that, that big drum fill, and then the whole of chorus 1. Here we go. So for bridge 1, we've got this going on. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 1. That time, I felt that both snare drums are sort of the same volume as each other. Bar 2, halfway through, at the end of the bar, we get 5 triplets, 6, and 1. So another one of those ascending set of triplet notes in volume. And notice how he doesn't always play a crash after every drum fill. Then bar 3 just has. So notice that extra snare drum note on beat 6 there that might catch you out if you want to play it note for note. Then the last bar has this unique drum fill. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5. Just 4 notes, right, left, going up in volume. And I've written it as single strokes. You could play it as a double stroke, but it's hard. In fact, I wouldn't play it as double strokes because it's almost impossible to get that last note to pop out. He plays it as a single stroke. So starting from the swung note of the and 5, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 6. So we're squeezing those 4 notes. It's a set of 16th note triplets if you want to be technical, starting on the upbeat of beat 5, going into 6. So that last bar, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 1. Simple as that, but played very smoothly and nicely. Yes, okay, so then on to verse 2. And I'm going to start skipping over some of these bars now because we've gone over a lot of these ideas already, just looking out for extra ride cymbal notes. For example, in line 2, bar 2, there's that surprise snare drum on beat 6 again. Bar 3 of that second line of verse 2 has the double backbeat idea. And then bar 4, we get this drum fill. 1, 2, and 3, and then it's 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplets. So right, left, building up in volume. That right, left again is very handy to be able to make those notes slowly build up. And it's just 5 triplet, 6 triplet. If you want to use this tom instead, fine. And he does go into a crash after that drum fill. Let's skip to the second page. And verse 2, the top of the line, we're going to go straight to that big drum fill. I've written it as all single strokes because it works out nicely. We get 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4, and then your right hand, because your right hand should be able to get over to a tom in front of you. We're going to from the second note of beat 4, 4 triplet, 5, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet. So 4, 4 basically. 1, 2, 3, 4. You move up to the tom with your right hand. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, 1. So it's not difficult, it's just obviously trying to orchestrate it exactly as Don does it. And when he plays it live and repeats it, he's not going to play the same drum fills again and again. Certain drum fills, yes, he will repeat that. He does a lot. Where he plays it every time because it's kind of unique for the song. But For these kind of big drum fills, you can just count up to 6 and just go round the toms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just come out where you like, as long as you're sort of going down the drums. But for note, if you want to play it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay. We then go on to the outro, or chorus 2, which is just one long big outro. And we go, the first 2 bars of each line are sort of this. Pretty much every time, and I'll point out where the differences are. Bar 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we get this unique drum fill for the first line. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. I want to use that tom instead. But it ends up nicely on the left hand with the snare drum. We get, and notice the bass drum comes down with the snare drum and ride on beats 2, 3 and on beat 4. Left, right, left, right, left. That's the sticking I've used. Next line. For bar 3, I think he chokes the ride. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be a crash. I think he uses the ride. Then we get this unique drum fill that occurs for the rest of the song. He's building up between the right and board snare drum. 1, 2, 3, going up in volume over the length of the 3 beats. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. And then this sticking works really nicely. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Down all 3 of the toms. So we get 1, 2, 3. On to the next line. But before we do, let me play for you the first 2 lines of chorus 2 up to speed. So for line 3, notice in bar 2, and I think this occurs quite a few times, in bar 2 in the second half, instead of playing, he plays, it might be a tom in front of him, but I think it's a lower tom, so I've used the floor tom, but instead of playing 5 and 6, it's 5 and 6 and 1. He uses the tom as that second snare drum. So look out for that. That occurs a few more times towards the end of the song. And then that drum fill at the end is this. 1, 2, 3. And then he uses the same grouping of drums every time for this drum fill, which is really nice. He sort of came up with an idea and stuck with it. It's alternated between flams and the bass drum. He uses the snare. Then between 2 toms, I've used between the snare drum and the tom, I've used the highest tom. Then back to the snare drum, then 2 of the floor toms. And you're going to come out with your right hand on the crash. So you get 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, 1. We get a sort of quarter note triplet fill as the flams play quarter note triplets and the bass drum's filling in the space. We end up having a whole set of triplets. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, 1. Lovely drum fill that. I'll play it up to speed in a moment. Let's go to the 4th line though, where that drum fill gets repeated at the end of the line. Before that though, we get a little surprise drum fill in the first bar. 1, 2, 3, yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Straight into 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet. Left, left, right, left, left, right, left. It's really right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Again, helps you to get down the toms. Groups of 3 like that are harder, having to cross over and underneath yourself. Then in bar 2, we get 1 and 2 and 3 triplets. He goes floor and then to the next highest, or it could be, I've written it as here, because your right hand's over the right cymbal's usually over the floor tom anyway. So 1 and 2 and 3 triplet, 4 and 5 and 6 and 1. Look at that surprise little drum fill as well. And then, like I said, the last bar of that line is the, and try not to miss the high tom like that. Again, I will play this up speed for you in a moment. Let's do the next line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Line 5, where we get my favourite drum fill in the song. We get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then this goes like this. 5, and it's really hard to count. Basically, it's a herter. And I've used the sticking left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, just because you can then come down to the tom, the next tom with your right hand. Takes a little bit of practice because it's quite fast. What your right hand's doing is actually playing 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. And you're filling in that left hand, filling up the middle note of the triplet, 5 trip in this case. The trip is being played as 2 16th notes. So don't let the left hand starting you off throw you off. You could start with your right hand if you wanted to, but I'm going to come down with my left hand. Left, right, left, right, 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 left, right. It's a herto, you're doubling up the middle note of the triplet. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it gets very hard to count. 5 triplet, 6 triplet, triplet. Up to speed, you can sort of hear it. Da, ba, ba, da, ba, 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 da. You can memorize it from the rhythm rather than have to count it. Come up with your right hand nicely though, in time, obviously. Then we go on to the next bar where at the end, Don starts to use, plays all the triplet notes with his bass drum. So that bar is. 6 triplet 1, 6 triplet 1. He plays all the triplet notes there up to beat 1. And then that last bar is 1, 2, 3, 4. So beat 4 is also staying on the right cymbal and snare drum. Then we get 5 triplets, 5 triplets, 6 triplets, or yeah. Sorry, I had to read that twice. You end up with 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet. And I accidentally played that. If you play that accidentally, it doesn't really matter, but it's actually 6 triplet at the end of the line there. I might play that wrong for you in a moment when I play this up to speed. I might have played it as snare drum and floor tom. It's just both toms instead. So just be aware of those slight differences if you want to play it note for note. But of course, no one would notice if you're playing it live. But written, it's this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hesitated again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next line. So now that we play up to speed for you, I'm not sure if I got that last beat 6 correct. It might have been that I was playing. If I don't, it's that. If I do, sorry, it's that. Just be aware. That's what you plays on the recording. Anyway, I'm going to play for you 1, 2, 3, lines 4 and 5 up to speed so we get that lovely flam tom fill and that tom fill that I probably massacred. Here we go. So the next line, we're at the bottom 3 lines now, third from bottom, we get 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 3 triplet 4, all the triplet notes are played there. Bar 2 has the floor tom on beat 3, I believe, and then this drum fill, which is a bit of a weird one, and you do kind of cross over your hands a little bit. It's 4 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplets. So it's 4 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet. That's the crossover bit where you have to go underneath your hand to play the last 2 notes left, right on the floor tom. You end up coming out with your right hand. I haven't given you a suggested sticking there, maybe I should have, but there's nothing that really springs to mind. It's a weird one. I'm not quite sure how he gets down the toms in that one. Perhaps you'd want to play this instead. If you want to keep it simple for yourself, you could play that simpler down the toms that way, but he plays like that. Bar 3, I'm going to stop mentioning the floor toms. Bar 4 has exactly the same orchestration for a second time. Then the second to last line, we get this verse bar, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 triplets, 6 triplets. I use that sticking right, left, left, right, left, left. Just to keep it simple. On it goes. The last drum fill is this. That 4th bar, 1, 2, 3, and then I've written it as. So it's 3 sets of hertas on each of the toms. I've just started it with my left hand, but you could start with your right hand. You could play. I've got no problem starting it with my left hand. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 5 triplet, 6 triplet, 1. Same. Lovely drum fill. Then it's already started to fade out at this point, but the last line is just 2 bars long before it completely fades out. And that drum fill from beat 5 is exactly the same as the bar above it, really. And then the very last thing I hear is 6 triplet 1, the very last beat of the chart, where I think he plays 6 triplet 1, another example of playing those bass drums in a row. So, before we finish now, let me play for you the last 2 lines of the chart. So there you go. Hope you found this lesson useful and enjoyable. If you've got any questions, you can email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download the full free PDF drum chart from our website. Again, the link is beneath this video. And then while you're over at the website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member if you haven't done so already. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's coming up to 750 famous and popular songs where, just like this lesson, I teach you a song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And I've got at least 1 other Eagles song up on the website, maybe 2 Eagles song up on the website already. So if you're a Don Henley fan, then you've got plenty of stuff to get your teeth stuck into already. As a thank you for signing up, I give you access to 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds of famous drum beats fills and even drum solos. I give you access to hundreds more little free videos teaching you many more famous drum beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got plenty of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.